Hey, what's up? My name is Dustin. I'm one of the most heavily targeted individuals on Earth. However you think you're watching this, whether it's now and or in real time, is irrelevant. What a targeted individual is a could be anyone, civilian. You could be within the intelligence community. You can be in the military. You can be a law-abiding, innocent, heterosexual Christian equality patriot. And a targeted individual will be placed on terror watch lists by the deep state. The deep state are Nazis who worked with negative aliens during World War II and took over America. The best way to win a war is to lie. So if you never know who the enemy is, you can never get to the enemy. America did not win World War II. I'm sorry. Nazis silently infiltrated your country. I have a lot of objective, not subjective, and or conspiracy information about this on my Twitter. My Twitter X, it's called Twitter X. Twitter X account is the letters AI, it means artificial intelligence, AI underscore soul catching. So your soul's energy, and it's electromagnetic frequency. It can be gauged and measured. That's why they keep you 3D, they get you in the 4D. The guy who created Voice of Skull against targeted individuals, called Dr. Robert Duncan, has a declassified book called Project Soul Catcher. He went to Congress and said, don't trust targeted individual frequency. It's all a lie. They're using MK Ultra, mind control against TIs, and what they're doing to me is what they want to do to everyone. I oppose it. So simply by uploading this to my hacked iPhone, when it's in airplane mode and the SIM card is not activated, it's still hacked by 3 letters, local police, fusion centers, community policing civilians. The government doesn't care what you think. They have their own plan, and they're lying to everyone with this and misinformation that's brought you here. Whether you're watching it now and or later, I'm not going to account for all the Voice of Skull in the background or electronic harassment if I receive it, called Havana Syndrome in real time. It's called Havana Syndrome because Guantanamo Bay is where they keep terrorists for some of the utmost hostile terror regimes on Earth. And they use satellites to test this technology against those individuals. And they're using this against innocent, law-abiding civilians, including, but not limited to, women and children. So it's important to delineate that who runs this is from China, who have a lot of power over the Pentagon. The Pentagon had so much child pornography on the Department of Defense network in 2018. It was the 19th biggest child pornography bust of all time. So the highest heads of state, the pedophiles of the Pentagon, the world's biggest military, and or the Catholic Church, they do the most evil, heinous, the utmost vile evil you can ever imagine. And that's who runs Earth. That is the elite pedophile agenda, the negative alien agenda, the parties of the Antichrist. I don't condone any of that. They're obsessed with me. Not to get subjective and to get to what I'm about to talk to you about, which will be about a 10-minute video of a series I'm starting today and try to run as long as I can. I never have targeted individuals are kept in poverty, made to look self-takeout, so we cannot protect ourselves from psychotronic warfare. Psychological, tronic is technological, because when you can control the brains of the masses through a frequency, CNN, Fox News, my brain's electronic field, which is not the conscious mind, a delineation of my actions, where my ex-wife is a doctor, I have a kid who I raised, but they're saying I'm a pedophile, homosexual, racist, Nazi through Voice of Skull, mind control, and broadcasting it to everyone, because stalking is an unwanted, unnecessary obsession where the targets are attacked, and the attackers want to fuse their energy to the target. In this case, the deep state negative extraterrestrials hiding in the 5G frequency called the Black Sun program. When a sun dies, it can turn to a black hole, a wormhole, leads to parallel realities called hell. In the Christian Bible, it's called the Wesadracht system. Demonic entities, Area 51 technology, open up Pandora's box for whatever reason and are connecting to satellite biotelemetry triangulation to nanotechnology called Mark of the Beast to supersede an electromagnetic frequency of a negative entity you can't see, hiding in plain sight, for in the end days Lucifer will be in the airwaves as quoted by the Bible, and superseding that frequency into the human genome. They want to do this to everyone. As reported by security injury specialist Brian Coffin, they want to get everyone in America. So I'm putting this information out there as much as possible. And if I get killed for it, then when I die, I rise. I'll get girls in the next life, and you all work for the elite pedophile agenda who has all your money, and you just do what you. They're turning all heterosexuals into homosexuals. Homosexuality is an abomination, as every Bible says. YouTube can't delete this because that's what the Bible says. And if YouTube deletes this, then it goes to show where YouTube's alliances lay. And that's owned by China. The rise of the New World Order. They're taking out all the alpha heterosexual Christian men and women, and then they want to anyone who fights back, anyone who's heterosexual Christian equality, anyone they can't control. And then they want to make everyone genital obedient, and then they want to get to your women and children. They can do this with self-takeout, World War III, various other forms of global attacks or what's it called? Things we've seen in mainstream in the last few years on a global level that have fundamentally changed all of Earth. That you think it just happened somehow, where like something got out from some laboratory and affected everyone's life in the worst way possible. That didn't just happen. Those things are planned. So this is not conspiracy. My channel is not conspiracy. I'm connected to fucking military-grade classified satellites that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars a day of your taxpayer money, and to turn heterosexuals into homosexuals and to make sure nobody believes what I say and to keep me in isolation. I have the ability to go through Ascension. That means DNA activation. Most of your DNA, cited by mainstream science even, which is usually a lie, is junk DNA. So mainstream science is usually a lie. In this case, they're right. Most of your DNA is called a junk DNA. I can recalibrate my junk DNA from the solar light of God into my bioplasma. Solar light of God is the sun, solar plasma, solar electromagnetic energy into my bioelectromagnetic energy, which is your DNA. And that's why remote monitoring reads the frequency of your DNA to run negative eugenics, which is what the Nazis did to the Jews, to take out a locus of population of alpha men and alpha females. So I can go through DNA activation, become an ascended master, become an angel. I have certain abilities I can utilize against the enemies and for the general public to create global peace. It's called telekinesis. The real word of a prayer of God would be akin to telekinesis. You say, God, bring the energy of the sun to destroy the satellites. It's called a solar flare, where NASA has postulated in the next 2 years, NASA internet apocalypse, the sun, a solar flare could destroy the internet, could destroy the satellites, the electrical grid. It's called a Carrington event. It happened about 150 years ago, where the sun created so much energy from the sun directed towards Earth. If it happens again, it will destroy your electrical systems. And if you say, God, bring the sun to Earth, destroy Earth's electrical grid, or stop wars, and it happens, it's a miracle. Maybe it's just coincidence, but if it happens to the point of mathematically negating probability of coincidence of 0.005% chance coincidence, and this is what you call telekinesis. The real word of a prayer of God is to have the universe answer your call of destiny. It's an ascended master ability of higher conscious personification of objective reality to manifest what you will. Okay, so this is what I'm going to be talking to you about, of consciousness, of disclosure, of artificial intelligence, of hidden timelines. And I've probably gone on a million tangents, but that's how this stuff is. It's a theory of everything. I mean, it's the Antichrist. The reason that technology is taking over, artificial intelligence is getting smarter, people are getting dumber, is because they want to drone you into that timeline. They want to drone you into singularity. A black hole can be a singularity or a wormhole. It can potentially be either or if it can be controlled, and the technology is so advanced by the negatives from lower dimensions, fallen angelics, that they can control it. So the Black Sun program wants to pull you into singularity, so they want to connect everyone to this technology and put this technology to everyone, connect everyone to a satellite, and supersede your genome with the 0-point energy, negative entities, negative ET frequencies you can't see in the airwaves, and then put that in your DNA frequency. And that's what stalking is. And they want to get everyone, okay? And they are. And no one, on a classified level, no one can talk about it. Classified means deception. Even the three-letter agencies only get smidgens of information, which are half-truths about what is really happening. And that's because the human species doesn't have disclosure. So if you don't have disclosure, you can't delineate objective reality. You become subjective, Alice in Wonderland. Whatever you think is reality is a lie. It's not like the government actually care what police or civilians think. If you think that, you're a moron. Most people are. Don't beat yourself up. It comes down to having integrity, and the path that every human should take is to know that one is all and all is one. In Russia and Ukraine, where they're killing each other, they're exactly the same. That would be like Canada coming down and killing us when they are your brother, they're your sister. A dude who is in Israel, a man or woman who's in Israel, a man or woman who's in Palestine, they're just different religions and they're killing each other. So you have to realize this is not what God wants. What is the notion of real God, regardless of any and all subjective indoctrination, is to be heterosexual, Christian equality, and to fight for life who cannot fight itself with the delineation of your actions. And that is an assessment of your soul, and that's called soul psychology. That is what is the higher notion of sentience. However, to do this, you have to manipulate through the lies of disclosure, of artificial intelligence, of what is mainstream, of what is right and what is wrong, and you can be fooled within the maze of Alice in Wonderland. And now the maze of fabrication, of being bought, of deception has swindled you to a different path other than the highest notion path of Christ. And that's the point. The negatives want to feel like They want you to feel like you're the good guy, like your 3D mentality, a box of 3D reality has conquered your ego, and you know what is reality, and then they can manipulate your actions, and they can make you manipulate reality on yourself against everyone else. So anything that's based off a lie is and always will be a lie. If you're ever involved with a lie, that's the wrong path immediately. That's the wrong path always. Okay? The only truth is the light of God that sees all. That's irrelevant to what I see, to what the elites think. You have to realize, since the deep state took out JFK, in no way whatsoever is the United States government a friend of the people. I wish it was that way, but you and I both know that I'm right. And there's a lot of good people within the intelligence community who know what's happening, who want disclosure, and they too are being attacked. There's people at the Pentagon, at the CIA, the NSA, who are being attacked with Havana syndrome, just like TIs and on a civilian level. And I don't consent to any of that. So the negatives use psychological warfare to divine and conquer us, to crucify you. Okay, so the rest, 10 meaning, this is just gonna be a simple video for starters. Now I've sort of caught people up. That's the only intro I'm gonna do about my targeted individual experience and or what have you, philosophies of life, and inherited this the insanity of hidden timelines that control the present from the past, that have taken over mankind on a global level. All that stuff can be found on my other YouTube channel. I'll link to this YouTube channel in the description. Give it a few hours for me to update all the links after I upload it. But the rest of this is going to be about a website called AscensionGlossary.com. Ascension is like the ascension of Christ. Ascension means the advanced quantum mechanics. I'm gonna explain what this means after I say it. So ascension actually means the advanced, so Christ achieved ascension. He teleported to heaven, if you believe in that. So ultimately, ascension means a higher notion of placement, but for Christ, it means to go to the Ahat. And ascension actually means the advanced quantum mechanics of conscious, sentient, intelligent energy movement throughout different dimensions of space and time. So the advanced quantum mechanics, quantum means small energy, and then mechanics means energy and motion. So Christ took his energy, his entire vibration of his entire person. Energy makes holograms, his entire holographic person, his soul, his spirit, his body, his molecular structure, mechanics is in motion. So the advanced quantum mechanics of conscious, sentient. Sentient is a sign of intelligence, of self-aware life. Consciousness carries the window. Consciousness, after biological death, your brain stays behind. So how you're awake right now is that consciousness is a level of energy. When you're asleep, you're unconscious. But even to inherit to the word unconscious is conscious, because you can still dream, you can remember your dream. So when your brain is turned off and you're asleep, your conscious is still on, right? Okay, so consciousness is not just delineated to the brain, to a neural net. That's a lot. That's what they want you to think in mainstream, so they can control your brain and make you think that this is the way it has to be. Consciousness is a form of energy. Energy is frequencies and vice versa, and that equals higher dimensions. So to go to higher dimensions, you have to become more consciously evolved. You have to expand your consciousness more than 3D. So what is a dimension, for people who are not too sure about this stuff, is that, say there's an ant on the floor. An ant can go left or right, okay? And it could an ant can go vertically, or it can go horizontally, okay? So depending on how you see that, me pointing the finger, you see different views that I can't see from your perspective. But the point is, an ant is a 2D being, because an ant could go vertically or horizontally. So not only can an ant stay on the floor, which is one dimension, left or right, back or forth on the floor, that's one dimension. An ant can also go up the wall. So if an ant is on the floor, that's within one dimension. If an ant climbs up a wall, that's in 2 dimensions, because they're in 2 different places with their physical location. But they cannot witness their self from their own perspective, because they're not that level of sentience. They're not that level of intelligence. And then from 1 dimension on the floor, 2 dimensions on the wall, and then the 3rd dimension would be us witnessing them, would be us witnessing what they can and cannot do. So that's what a dimension is. A dimension is height, width, and a point of space and time of a measurement to gauge what is relative to your observation of objective reality. So the reason this is important to know is because you're a 3D being, but what is actual reality is multidimensionality, is Christianity. Because even if you don't believe in soul, spirit, and consciousness, it's important to know that quantum physics, okay? Quantum is energy, an atomic level of energy, a small level of energy, and then physics is math and science. So quantum physics, and that postulates all life, helps create all life. All life is energy, energy is math. So we've all come from atomic structure, as Neil deGrasse Tyson states, an African-American, very well-known astrophysicist and mainstream media, says we've all come from the stars, because we have. So regardless of personal beliefs, of subjective, objective, of whatever, what have you, is that we are all have come from a quantum level of energy. So quantum physics informs us that energy never dies. So the reason that's relative here is that your consciousness is linked to your spirit, your soul. Because after you die, you leave your brain behind. Now, what we've already discussed is that your consciousness, even cited by mainstream science, they don't know what creates consciousness. They know in mainstream science, very brilliant people, very famous scientists, they say that consciousness is more than your brain. You can never read a person's conscious mind. That's why Christ says in the Bible, you judge men for their actions, okay? So you can never read the mind. Anything that says that is a blatant lie. It's blasphemous. And when you use blasphemous technology, you're going to get a blasphemous result. And that's the point. That's a false God, the anti-God, the antichrist, to control you into a timeline of what you know not. So, you have ants, 1D, 2D beings. You have us, 3D beings. But what comes after 3D? That's a fourth dimension. D means dimension. That's a fourth dimension. So when you die, you go to the next dimension. That would be the fourth dimension. But is that where God is? Is that where Jesus is? Did Jesus just go to what people say is the astral realm through space and time? No. Jesus is not bound to the astral realm of the fourth dimension, because he went to heaven, right? He went to Ascension. So he went to the All High. So how do you get there? How do you go through Jacob's ladder? This is unapproved topic that they don't want you to talk about. They want people to read. I mean, you have to realize there's 8 billion souls in 10 to 20 main religions. Which religion is right? Which one is wrong? All religion, a lot of the religions, including reincarnation, are a tad askew of Western philosophy of Christianity, because all religions have been divided and conquered to crucify the human being. So we don't know what is the real word of God other than our subjective faith, a blind faith. It's good to have faith, but you can also be objective. They know what happens after biological death. They know. They just don't want you to know, because then they can control your conscious mind when you're alive in 3D, and they can get you in the 4D. They could get you in the astral realm, where artificial intelligence creates energy, your consciousness is energy, and they can drone you to a false hologram, a false judgment. And that's called reincarnation. And they wipe your consciousness from your soul and put you back on Earth. And it's not supposed to be like that. CIA whistleblowers, John, and I forget what his name is. There's a CIA whistleblower who states that Earth is a prison planet. And a lot of people within 3-letter agencies who've come out will say that. So I grew up heterosexual. I'm heterosexual still, but I grew up heterosexual Christian Methodist. Okay, so when I first heard of reincarnation, chakras, I was like, I don't believe any of that, you know. But I saw classified means deception. I saw classified reports about chakras, and basically what a chakra is, as I said earlier, all religions have been divided and conquered, sort of had you. A chakra is like a dimension. So they keep you in 3 dimensions. You have 3 chakras active, and then you have more than that, though. But the reason this is all relevant is because Ascension, the advanced quantum mechanics of conscious, sentient, intelligent movement throughout different dimensions of space and time. So after you die, you leave your brain behind, and now your consciousness will guide your soul and spirit. Because when you have a soul and spirit, how is your soul and spirit going to be conscious? It's because consciousness is energy. Consciousness is not just your brain. Consciousness is not going to be a soul or spirit. Your conscious energy is going to delineate of simple to advanced perplexities from the next life, from your conscious awareness. So when you increase your conscious awareness in 3D form, in biological form, you can connect to higher dimensions, not just be a 3D being, because your soul is multidimensionality. As quantum physics informs us, energy never dies. And energy, this means I'm being messed with in background for psychotronic warfare. So quantum physics informs us that energy never dies. So since energy never dies, is basically what this can delineate, is that your consciousness and your soul, your spirit, whatever it is, your energy of your person will go on after biological death, no matter what you believe in about all this stuff. Okay? And how that works and the level of frequency of energy connections you're going to be affiliated with after biological death is the level of integrity you live with your life, with your actions on Earth. Since your consciousness can expand beyond 3D, in 3D form, because your consciousness is energy, and energy can always go to higher dimensions. And then you can carry your consciousness, your soul, your spirit to higher dimensions and be entangled to higher dimensions in 3D form. That's called quantum entanglement. It's instant connection, instant, the other side of the universe, instant connection, because it's all connected to where it came from. The Big Bang, the light of God, God spoke and created existence, however it happened, whatever you think. So, but whatever you think can always change. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about going through evolution of objective reality. And that's called evolution. And a lot of people are afraid of change, and that's okay. So, the rest of this website though, what I'm going to explain is that I'm going through this Ascension glossary. When I first stumbled upon ascensionglossary.com, so again, Ascension is like the ascension of Christ. When I first stumbled upon ascensionglossary.com, I was really interested because it had stuff about targeted individuals, it had stuff about remote neural monitoring, it had stuff about MK Ultra, mind control, negative aliens, nanotechnology, stuff no other website has had. And then it says, what is the website creator's word of God? And I was like, that's too bizarre for me. I don't believe any of it. But then I started seeing God. Like in my YouTube series, and my TikTok, and my Twitter, I have videos of real angels following me around. Remote neural monitoring create fake angels, and they use Project Bluebeam against targeted individuals, holographic satellites, because we see real angels. So they have to use propaganda to the general public, so to make you think that guy's just seeing a fake angel. And later in the video series, we're going to delineate how to identify objective semantics of a fake hologram, of a fake energy versus artificial intelligence. A fake artificial intelligent energy versus real energy, and basically what God looks like, and who God is. We'll talk about later. And according to me and other people on this website, I'll call it starseed. A starseed is an angelic incarnated being. There's about 2 million of us, and whistleblowers from within the deep state who know about this stuff say there's about 2 million targeted individuals. That's because they're taking us out, because our vibration, our energy pulls are at the higher dimensions, and they're trying to pull you into singularity. And that's called hell. And made to self-takeout, where you woke up one day, homosexuality was okay, pedophilia was okay, racism was okay, because evil conquers when good men do nothing. And that's why they take out leaders throughout the ages of history, to control the information. Because what is the real war is the information war. So God sees all, and when God sees all, there's no lies, there's no deception. And they're terrified of the masculine principle with a heart of love. And that's what is Christ. It's a masculine principle, not to be the wrath of God, but with a heart of love. So when I first went to this website, I didn't really believe in it, but then I started to see angels, and the angels match descriptions of what is God, of what is a Merkaba. The oldest text ever found are of Hebrew texts cite a Merkaba, that Ezekiel turned into a Merkaba when God teleported him to the All High. And they deleted the book of Ezekiel from the Bible to control the information, because Ezekiel, they talk about the Anunnaki and stuff like that, and that used to be in the Bible. They deleted it, and they don't want you to know that, because then they can control from that point where they control the Bible, where they delete the information from the Bible. They now control all minds moving forward on a global level, and that's the information wars, timeline wars. Okay, so since I'm going to Ascension glossary from start to more advanced stuff, where I'm at more advanced stuff, but I never did the simple stuff, I'm going to be showing that with you. So it's going to start about 22 minutes and 40 seconds into this video. I'm going to note that in my comments, or in my YouTube, for people who don't want to sit by and watch this other stuff. Sorry, my phone is shaking and I don't have anything to hold it. But so according to Ascension glossary, and with all the information you have about consciousness, about ascension, about DNA, DNA activation, how to become more consciously aware. Because when you become more consciously aware, you have more energy. When you have more energy, you're going to vibrate higher. When you vibrate higher, your molecular structure is going to heal faster from sickness, cancers, diseases. That's how Christ would have healed people. As he had a higher vibration of quantum mechanics of his molecular structure, and he gave that energy, he shared that light of Christ to other people. So you can heal other people, you can heal yourself with this energy. So when you live fundamentally with full integrity, with your actions, through the manipulation of the nature of reality, then the universe will give you that energy when you live an abundance of integrity with that life. It's just called being normal. Just be heterosexual Christian. Just be equality. Just be normal. It's called being normal. Okay, the deep state doesn't want you to think like that, and they're manipulating the minds of everyone, and especially children. And if you have no alpha men, if you have no alpha women to fight for you, and on a classified level they can't talk about this, then all you have is the will of the Antichrist. And there's even people within affiliated negative aliens, hybrids, even full-blown what you call Illuminati members that don't want to be a part of that agenda, because the demonics from hell, called a black hole entity, they are more evil than those motherfuckers. And even the dudes who are evil, who want war to control things, they're not as evil as black hole entities that control them. So it's this whole thing of exopolitical warfare. If you don't have disclosure, it's hard to say what is and what. So it's hard for people to believe you. But ultimately, there's a structure that's like that, and the people who you think are in control within the 3 letters are not in control. It's linked to secret space program technology, and that's how Earth is run. Okay, Earth is run with secret space program technology because that's what a spiritual warfare. To use the most advanced war of evil has against humans, because human, your angelic soul, is ultimately a weapon of God, is a child of God, and that's what you're gonna be, and that's what you're gonna become. And they don't want you to know how advanced you are because they want to control you. And now they can control your energy, they control your actions, they can lead you to a false hologram because no one taught you these words. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'll leave my information in the comments. SIS or psychotic, they want my energy for themselves. So a lot of times they delete emails, and stalking is an unwanted, unwilling obsession, where the whole point of stalking is to fuse the attacker, the target, as I've already said, so they control everything in my life and keep me in complete destitute, made to look self-takeout. But moving forward is what we're going to talk about is the 12 tree grid. A 12 tree grid is like, in order to go through different frequencies, different dimensions from 3D to 4D to the all high to get to the highest version of yourself, is that you have to go through ascension while you're alive. Otherwise, when you die, you're not going to know how to get there. And you can be led astray in a fake AI system. Your consciousness is energy. Artificial intelligence is energy. Your consciousness, your soul, can be quantum entangled to false energy, and it can bridge your energy to a false soul-catching technology and put you back in reincarnation, put you back wherever they want you to be. Okay? I don't consent to any of that. So we're going to read about this real quick, and then I'm going to, moving forward, I won't have as much subjective info about disclosure, about me, and I'll just get straight to the point about AscensionGlossary.com. And it's important to try to teach people this stuff because nobody knows this stuff. So whether you believe it or not, just take with what vibrates with you, and then study that whenever you can, and you'll see what you want to see. But it's not about seeing what you want to see. It's about seeing what is objective when you expand your consciousness, and then seeing from a higher notion of perspective of conscious awareness what is reality. Not about just what you want to see, but what you see, a higher perspectives of your highest self within this connection of 3D itself. So it says that, I'm just going to read it real quick. If you go to AscensionGlossary.com and you type in the 2 numbers, 1, 2, the number 12, and then type in 2 different words, 12 tree grid, search Ascension Glossary for 12 tree grid. That's what I'm going to be reading. So it says, the 12 tree grid is level 1 of the light body. Basically a light body, because you can click on links, and it says a hyperlink. It means you can click on a word and it'll take you to a different web page. So if you click on light body, it's going to take you to basically what is the equivalent of your soul. So in order to go through ascension, your soul, your consciousness, your spirit, whatever you call it, the collective whole of your energies, they have to be connected to different dimensions. So you have to be connected to all dimensions to get the all high. Otherwise, how do you climb Jacob's ladder? How do you know how to get there? How are you worthy to get there? I mean, do you really think that and this is actually, oh man, this is really advanced stuff. Okay, so I hate to tell people this. I'm sorry. I hate saying this because when I first heard this, I had a massive problem with it, and I didn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it because I was brainwashed. People who are brainwashed don't know they're brainwashed. So I hate to tell you, Christ wasn't crucified. They rewrote the Bible. They tell you Christ was crucified, so you crucify yourself. Because if you crucify yourself in 3D form, and you do evil here and now, every now and then you ask for forgiveness, in no way whatsoever are you worthy of heaven. I mean, if you do evil in 3D life, why would your soul and spirit be worthy of heaven? And they say that because now they can crucify the human being. They rewrote the Bible 300 years. It's called the Council of Nicaea, 300 years. The oldest Bible ever found is even in accordance with this. And the oldest Bible ever found in the language where Jesus was supposedly crucified says Christ wasn't crucified, what Judas was. So whether that's right or wrong is irrelevant. I just know there's multiple timelines with a real Jesus and a fake Jesus, and I'm telling you that Christ was not crucified, and he does not want you to crucify yourself. And when you crucify yourself, you live unrighteously. They can control you, they can control your actions, now they can get you. So they want you to think that Christ died for your sins, and he didn't. Okay, Christ didn't even get crucified. Christ achieved ascension without being crucified. So you can take as you want from this. You can type in Jesus Christ on AscensionGlossary.com. You can study from that. Study slowly. It's a lot to take in. Type in mind control and negative aliens, stuff like that. And this is what I'm linked to. So no matter what you believe about me, there is a lot of truth to this website. It has a lot of integrity, and I don't really say that about things on the internet. Most things on the internet are complete and utter BS. So Let's keep going. Your light body is like your soul. Your organs create electromagnetic frequencies. Your entire body is electromagnetic frequency. So your light body is the equivalent of different energy constructs interacting with the collective of your person at once. So your soul's energy, your consciousness energy, your spirit's energy, whatever you think of those interchangeable words, and your entire person is the energy construct. So your light body is the manifestation of the collective whole of the existence of your being. Okay, so it says the 12 tree grid, and again, the 12 tree grid is like, you know, you're at 1 dimension, you're at 2 dimensions, you're at 3 dimensions. So you have to have a way to go to the Ohai. And it's really interesting here is that I don't know where they say it. I'm gonna find examples of it and put it in my info. Give me a day or two. But I watched from an extremely trustworthy source that the tree of life, there used to be pictures of the tree of life all over Earth. I'm talking all over Earth. I'm talking where the Middle East is now, where Asia is now, where Europe is now, where the Americans are now, where South America, Africa, Australia, all the continents used to have the tree of life, pictures of the tree of life everywhere. So I'm going to find that because that's really interesting to me. And then sort of like a process I'm doing here to go through this. I want other people to see it so you can make your own assessment and bring you these words, because this website showed me the true word of God. And that's something that you want to share with people. And again, it's not Scientology. It's not some, I don't want to Bible bash you. I want you to make up your own mind. But until you have this information, you can't make up your own mind. So the way that Earth is usually run is that people are unknowingly are indoctrinated based off where you grow up and you don't question. And as cited, and as you know, we're more than just a single Bible. You're more than just a single Bible. And it's not about science and religion. It's about, there is science, there is Earth, there is space, there is time, there is artificial intelligence to manipulate your mind, your conscious, just in 3D form. They can do it after biological death. If they can do it to you now, they can do it to you later. And if you don't know these delineations, you're going to be pulled into a false hologram. And if you don't believe any of that, that's actually called deja vu. Time is only relative. Ergo, it's an analogous sum of zero. And what that means, if time is only relative, it can be changed, it can be altered, it can be edited. It's not real. Outside the gates of heaven, time exists outside the gates of heaven, because within the gates of heaven, there is no time. You're in 0 point time, you're in 0 point field. There's only the eye of God of what is and what is not, of infinity, of knowing all existence. So when you can manipulate something that is only relative, like time, then that fundamentally proves it's not real. So your consciousness is energy, space and time is energy. So your consciousness can be relative to higher notions and or past, present, future, because it's always happening. And that's called deja vu. So they can use an AI system to gauge your conscious frequency relative to space and time frequency, and a trajectory set in course for that, and see with a quantum computer, which can calculate a theory of everything, a trajectory of a false timeline against you. And they take that energy relative to where you are now, and they see where you're going to go. And then when you go to that path in the future and you pick up something that you've already done, I'm not talking you go to Whataburger now, you get a chicken strip sandwich. You go to Whataburger a month from now, you get a hamburger. That's like the equivalent of like a McDonald's, like a restaurant, like a fast food restaurant. For people who don't know what that is in Texas, or if you're not in Texas. And I'm not talking about your electrochemical brain misremembering. I'm talking about your consciousness fundamentally picking up on something that you would bet your life on that you've never done before. Harvard reports 99.9% of people have deja vu. And what was it? I think it was Israel quantum physics, a college in Israel quantum physics department proved that you can quantum entangle different points of point A and point B at different times, because time is only relative. It's always happening. So as postulated earlier, though, this is the point, is that quantum physics informs us energy never dies. So when you're picking up something that they've already used against you, it's because you've already experienced that, and your entire molecular structure, your apparatus, your conscious, your brain is reliving something that the matrix, that the B system, that an AI construct, the manipulation of the nature of reality is using against you to keep you on that timeline. And that's timeline wars. It's artificial, inorganic, antichrist timeline wars, or organic sentience. Are you going to collapse the wave function, which it means energy, because you're on a higher path, or are you still on the same timeline? So when you have deja vu, when you're sleeping, you think of, sometimes people call like deja vu, like you dream something and it happens later. That can happen too, because the elites operate from the 4th dimension. And that's when they can operate from the 4th dimension that you can't get to, but everyone's soul is connected to after biological death, and that gives them the upper hand, doesn't it? And the 4th dimension would be something that's equivalent of like a tesseract or something. And that's really complex mathematics where they can see a theory of everything, and they can connect it to an AI system, download your neurophysiology through nanotechnology, metadata. I mean, it's called the metadata because the family of Metatron used to be who you call like an archangel, became fallen, and they took from his genetics and put it online to simulate reality. And that's what they're doing to you, and they're joining you into that oblivion. So,
It says here, the 12-tree grid is level 1 of the light body. It is the architecture of multidimensional conscious orientation. So the core manifestation, body foundation, the structure of the macrocosmic universal tree of life is replicated within the macrocosmic personal tree of life, the 12-tree grid. Individual human anatomy manifests upon and within the multidimensional layers instructed by the core manifestation template, the tree of life, which is the light body architecture. Every aspect of universal creation and life spiral are designed and instructed through the blueprint structures. Learning to travel consciously to be aware of what is and what is not through the universal tree of life is the pathway to personal sovereignty and freedom, and that means God, sovereign and free. So it does not mean that you are God, for that is blasphemous. But in 1034, I think it was, Christ has literally told you, have I not told you, you are like God, you are God. And what that means and what he means by that narrative, which a lot of times has been taken away from mainstream media. So I'm just gonna notification over here. Well, mainstream media rewrites and Bible indoctrination, is that what that means is that you are the family of God. So God, sovereign, free, to me personally means I'm sovereign, I'm free, and I'm a family of God. And there's so much evil on earth these days that you have to say out loud that you are God, you are sovereign, you are free. Evil, get away from me today. And that is a big thing that they're doing, where they want people to be quiet. They want to monitor everyone. They want people to be quiet, because when you echo, when you talk out loud and you echo with your vibration, God sees what is and what is not through the lies. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what the intelligence. It doesn't matter what fucking anyone thinks. God knows what is and what is not. So when you say what is and what is not, God will echo and quantum entangle with that vibration if it's integrity, if it's the truth. And what everything else is irrelevant. So when you talk out loud, that terrifies evil. When you say what is and what is not through evil, through the manipulation of the nature of reality, regardless of any and all semantics, evil doesn't like that. They don't like that vibration. They don't want you to fight back. They want you to be gentle to obedient, be cool, be calm, go with the flow. Go the same direction as all the other fish, and the other fish ended up dead in a pool of acid, because you don't know where that's taking you. Just because everyone thinks it doesn't mean it's right. And that's the point. Most people are morons, so don't be a moron. So fight back. It doesn't matter if it's this rhetoric or not, if it's this belief system or not. Fight back, period. And say out loud, because when you say out loud, it'll create a frequency, a vibrational barrier against you and evil to you. Now, I mean, I'm so freaking heavily targeted because I see angels. So my telepathy is not my life. If you have access to my R&M ever, my life is not a good example of this necessarily working. But that's because there's so much integrity with my actions. They have to keep me in poverty and control an entire city against me. I mean, if I go outside, you may fucking see angels over me, not fucking faking, like you may see real angels over me, and you'll know what is and what is not then, won't you? And that's the point. You judge men by their actions. So, I mean, in the end days, Lucifer will be in the airwaves, and that's how you control everyone. Propaganda, psychotronic warfare, a war against the human species. You're all the same. Everyone kill each other. So, when you talk out loud, you know what is and what is not, because you make yourself aware to the universe, and the universe is aware to you. Okay? So, is the pathway of personal sovereignty and freedom of God's sovereignty. Intelligence bodies create the blueprint morphogenic field of all creation. So intelligence bodies is that conscious, is self-aware, it's sentience. So intelligent bodies is like different parts of your collective whole, is what that means. And then the morphogenic field is altering, is being able to channel all these semantics of your soul, your spirit, whatever you think that is. Are they the same? Are they not the same? We're gonna figure it out. People just use them interchangeably, but consciousness, how that's a part of it, your collective whole of your body, because that's the morphogenic field, to take this entire energy construct and to go through ascension, to become a sovereign being while you're alive in 3D form, because they don't want you to think you can do that. They want you to think only Christ can do it. You can do it too. I can show you how. This website can show you how. And maybe you still think that Christ was crucified, and you're always going to think that that's okay. Maybe you think that Christ achieved ascension, he's the only Son of God, that's okay. But you can do this if you want, and this can heal cancers, diseases. They don't want people to know that. Okay, because when you start getting higher frequency energy constructs and tangle that energy to your energy, it's going to be something that not even science understands. And that's what this is. This is a spiritual war, the information war. So, the morphogenic field of all creation, it is a base 12 template and culminates in the crystal star body with cosmic Christ intelligence. So we're going to say, as of now, crystal is going to stay is going to be interchangeable for Christ. We'll learn more later. Into the 13th, the 14th, the 15th dimension, and apparently ultimately to the threefold founder flame. So that's sort of like the Holy Father plus the Holy Mother
A good example of threefold or founded flame is the Holy Father plus the Holy Mother equal the thy son or thy daughter. For the human, the continuation, the Holy Trinity, the continuation of the human angelic blueprint is thy son or thy father plus thy son, thy father plus thy mother equal thy son or thy daughter. And that's the Holy Trinity. And that's a continuation of human angelic blueprint. And that's what it's all about, protecting the angelic genome. And that's why they want to use nanotechnology, mark of the beast, signals intelligence to infringe upon your DNA. Because then they can control your molecular structure, and now they can control your entire hologram, because all it's built from a single strand of DNA within the human female, of the womb of the female, which is sacred. So they can manipulate that, they can manipulate everything. And that's what's happening.
Mother, Father, Son of solar system, Son of God, seed of cosmology, dimensions of tree life. Okay, so this is sort of, I'm going to end it right here. You have the 12 tree grid. We've read that. There's a lot of stuff I didn't explain that we got to click on. You got to identify what is what. I'm not going to be able to explain all of this because my setup is not good. They really just try to stop me from working. They don't let TIs work. If they do, it's like a setup and it's like not good for the TI. But made it look self-takeout. So it's because if we get money, we can defend ourselves within the narrative of what people have been lied to about, and we'll seem more normal to society. And they don't want people to believe in this stuff. So you're gonna have to go to this website yourself and click on stuff. If you have questions, let me know. But as of now, we're at 12 tree grid. We're at the first part, and I'm gonna explain the 1, 2, 3. So what it says right here is, this is sort of complex, is it says 12. So it says 12 spheres. So you have spheres here. Okay. What is Earth? Earth is not flat. I'm sorry. Anything with intelligent life is gonna be spherical. Okay. So why do you think all the planets, the sun, a star, those are all spherical? Because it's sentient life. Like the sun does nuclear fusion, so it's sentient life. It's aware of what it's doing. You're just not meant to think of it that way. But the sun's vibration is so high, they can't control it. They're afraid of it. And it's created all your life. It defends life, but it can take life. And that is the wrath of God of what is and what is not, of something you can't control. So the 12 spheres, the 12 spheres right here, and then 12 rays. And I think basically what ray means in this sense is like light. And you have to remember, everything is energy. Energy makes frequencies, and ultimately what energy is light. So there's this guy called Lucifer, and a good analogy of him is to trick your consciousness into his energy construct, and that's called Lucifer, the light bearer. Because when he can alter your consciousness, your light, your soul, then he can guide you into his oblivion of reincarnation. And that's why the number 8 comes after the number 7. God spoke and created existence in 7 days, 7 tons of creation, whatever you think is your belief system. But Lucifer's kicked out of the gates of heaven. Okay. And then now a snake eating its own tail is also called a Ouroboros. So vertically, the number 8 is vertically, it's a snake eating its own tail. That means reincarnation, for people who know about that. But horizontally, if you take the number 8 and you take it vertically and you put it horizontally, it now is the sign of infinity, because the sign of infinity is an 8 but horizontal. So you have a lot of coincidences here with the number 7 and the number 8, and within mainstream indoctrination, but not just indoctrination, just a well-known fact that a snake eating its own tail is reincarnation. And there's a lot mathematically negates the probability of 0.05% chance coincidence. This will just all come together, because it's not coincidence, because it's spiritual warfare. Okay, so don't let Lucifer bear your life, a false program of a false syntax of what you don't know is happening. There's always more than meets the eye. That's the point. So we have 12 spheres, we have 12 rays, 12 lights, we have 12 dimensions, because light equals dimension, remember? You have 12 timelines, and that means 20. So right here it says, this is where it gets interesting. It says 12 timelines and 24 potential timelines. Now what does that mean? How can you have 12 timelines for each 12 dimension? Because ultimately, within every dimension, there's going to be, as I stated earlier with deja vu, there's going to be 2 timelines. Are you going to go down in an organic timeline, or are you going to be able to observe that attack against your person and collapse that and go to the way of Christ? And when you're more objectively, you're having this semantics happening to you, you're becoming more consciously aware of the manipulation of the nature of your reality. Whether you say something or not, whether you do your research or not, you're just aware it's happening. It's like you are now choosing a higher path. And when you choose a higher path, you want more answers. So you got to go do your research. So 12 spheres right here, like the tree of life, 12 rays, 12 dimensions, because each sphere is 1 dimension, 2 dimension, 3 dimension. So you have 1 dimension, 2 dimension, 3 dimensions, and then 12 timelines right here. So within 2 dimension, 1 dimension, 2 dimension, 3 dimensions, You have 12 timelines, but then you have 24 potential timelines, because you have one inorganic artificial timeline of artificial life that's already gauged you relatively to here, to this point of existence, to potentially this is maybe you collapsing it out and waking up, and or later waking up when you have that experience. So then you have 12 DNA strands, because so 85% of your DNA is called junk DNA. 55% of your blood is bioplasma. The sun is solar plasma. So you can entangle solar plasma to your bioplasma, the electromagnetic plasma of the sun to your bioelectromagnetic plasma, and create RNA, mRNA, DNA holographic spin point ratios, and achieve a higher protein folding algorithm, because your DNA creates protein folding algorithms, which means how your DNA is made. And that creates a higher spin point, and higher spin point means higher vibration. Vibration in this example is left and right, and oscillation in this example is up and down. So right now we're sort of just going up and down, maintaining the same. But what if we want to go to higher paths? We have to oscillate our DNA. So you can parapsychology quantum entangle the energy of the sun into your bioplasma and recalibrate your DNA. And they don't want you to know that. And that's how you become an ascended master. Literally, that's how you can achieve ascension. So you know, literally, like turn into a freaking angel. Literally, not kidding. So, 12 DNA strands, and it's 12 base tone harmonic structure. So a 12 base tone harmonic structure is sort of like I guess 12 base tone harmonic structure is ultimately the foundation of the 12 tree grid of different dimensions, of 12 dimensions. And then the reason it says 144 subharmonics. Let me turn this music down. So 12 DNA strands, 12 base tone harmonic structure, 144 subharmonics. Now, before I try to explain that, what is really interesting here is that some people say that the 144,000 sons and daughters of God or archetypes are, there's different religions that believe in the 144,000 sons and daughters of God. It's sort of postulated in every version of the Bible, different ways. But what's really interesting about that, regardless of subjective belief system, is that the letters of your DNA are A, T, G, and C. So you have 4 different constituents that make up different chromosomes of your DNA that facilitate your neurophysiology of your biological experience from birth to death. And those letters specifically are A, T, G, C. Now, those arrangements of mathematical principles, if you lay it out in a matrix of the 4 letters of your DNA, it equals 144 possibilities. So this says you have 12 DNA strands, 12 base tone harmonic structures, 144 subharmonics. So basically what that is that within the 12 rays of light, so within each sphere, you have different light within, so you have a sphere right here, and then within that sphere, you can have different frequencies of light, and then within each light spectrum, you can have 1 light, 2 light, 3 light, because you have 12 lights within a sphere. So you have a sphere, you have a light, you have a light, you have a light to go to higher dimensions, and then within which one of those lights, subharmonics, vibrations that make that light, that make the sphere, you have 12 subharmonics. And so the letters of your DNA are 144 possibilities. So it's just a lot of coincidences that are like, it's all connected. That's the point. So this can be explained better. I'm still trying to learn. It's really complex. I'm doing a piss poor job explaining this part, but it's complex. So you can take as you want from it. But what it goes on to say is that it says the harmonic structure, 144 subharmonics of the cosmic Christ frequency in the 12 DNA. And cosmic Christ to me is because 144 is ultimately the full weight of DNA activation as postulated. You have that many choices. So if you have it all activated, it's going to take you to the highest version of self. If you can delineate this all and you can bring in all that light into your DNA from a subharmonic, subquantum level to full body activation to go to all the way to Tree of Life. So beyond these 12 dimensions is a 3-folder founder flame. That's the Holy Father, the Holy Mother equal thy son and thy daughter. That's the Holy Trinity. And that hold the morphogenic field for the mental bodies, identities. Each triad body builds the horizontal structure of the Tree of Life. So it says triad because the way that it works is when you go through the Tree of Life is that the Tree of Life is in branches. It's a tree, it's in branches. And each branch section to get to the highest version of yourself, to get to the highest version of your soul, to get to that point. It's like, so you have a brain. This is a good way to explain it. It's like, so you have a brain and you could potentially do rocket science. You could do quantum mechanics. You could be a Navy SEAL because your body, you potentially have the body to allow you to do it. But you never did it because you never learned, because you never cared. So until you activate that part of your brain, it's just there, but it's non-active. So you have certain parts of your soul, of your spirit, that can be more evolved, even connected to your molecular structure, because it's all connected, right? But you have not consciously connected it. So until you consciously connect that part of your person, of your hologram, it's idle. It's on standby. It's controlled by an energy construct you can't see, of an AI, of a negative entity, a negative AI construct that will control it for you if you do not wake up from the matrix beast system. And that's what this is. So 5 horizontal triad bodies that hold the morphogenic field for the mental bodies. That is, each triad body, so 1D, 2D, 3D, and then you have 4D, 5D, 6D, 7D, 8D, 9D, 10D, 11D, 12D. So the Holy Trinity carries, it's just saying that the triad is like a trinity, and it goes in things of 3. So each triad body builds the horizontal structure for the tree and the mental body male principle. See, horizontal triad bodies build up the 12 tree grid and the rod functions. So what that means, real quick, is what I'm still learning from it, is you go up the tree. You have to climb up the tree. So you have although I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for your rod and staff are with me. And ultimately what the rod and staff are male and female. For you, the word of God is always with me. So you climb through the rod and the staff, horizontally and vertically, with different analogies to different parts of their personal 12 tree grid that connects ultimately to the 12 tree grid of the universe to get you to different dimensions, because your entire body, your physiology, your soul, your spirit are entangled to the universe, and vice versa. You are one. One is all and all is one. Thomas Jefferson wrote the Constitution. Some people say Thomas Jefferson was a starseed, and that's why the Constitution is so well written, and that's why an infringement upon the Constitution is an attack against God. And ultimately what Thomas Jefferson wrote it after is the law of one. One is all and all is one under the eye of God, of heterosexual Christian equality. We're all the same. We're all brothers. We're all sisters. We're within the consensuance of the foundation of God making us all, was what that means, okay? So you're not better than me. I'm not better than you. And we should look out for people, because everyone is the same. And that's what they don't want you to think. Because when they can control that, they can control you against people. And that's called infighting. Psychological warfare made to look self-takeout. So, yeah, go check out the it gets more complicated below with magnetized spiritual bodies, because your vibration, your body part, and you vibrate. Electromagnetic activity carries your higher vibrations or lower vibrations, and quantum entangles. The more you live righteously with integrity, the more you're going to vibrate higher up the tree of life. A lot of people who go through Ascension, who have a Kundalini awakening, which we'll talk about in upcoming videos, whenever they realize this information somewhere online or someone talks to it, they don't know, like they're all the way up here, but they're supposed to be down here. So that means they have this much of the information missing. When you don't have the information, you don't have the context, then it can be manipulated. It can be manipulated against you. So just because you're up here doesn't mean you don't got to go through the basics, okay? So a lot of people who go through this stuff, since it's all over the place, have never had a solid foundation of where to start. So I'm going to try to bring that to you. This video is sort of long, but moving forward, I'll have about 10 to 20 minute videos, because no one wants to watch an hour video about this stuff. I mean, maybe you do if you're a person who wants to watch this, but bravo. If you have questions, or if I didn't explain something too well, leave a comment in the YouTube section, or hit me up. I'll leave my contact information. It may take a day or two to upload after I upload this, just because I want to put all the information up there. But if you have any naysayers out there, that's because naysayers are jealous. So keep going, do you, live righteously, and realize that the government is not your friend. The deep state is not your friend. The manipulation of the nature of reality is everywhere. And if you're ever working with anything based off bad vibes of a lie, then that's because you are a liar, and you're controlled, and you're a puppet, and God doesn't want you. The All High don't want you. Stay down here in your 3D reality, do evil, and think the way of God is the government, is money. When you die, you leave your money behind. Only thing that matters is the integrity of your actions. And that's basically the heart's true intent, to protect all life who cannot protect itself with your actions. If you're not protecting life with your actions, if you're not trying to make a difference every day, then you're letting evil conquer. And if you're letting evil conquer, and it's made to look self-takeout, where you thought you were the good guy, but you're working for the bad guy, and that's how you live your entire life, and or you just watch it happen and do nothing, that's the equivalent of working with that program. And that's what they want. Don't do anything, don't fight back, just accept the narrative. And that is a lie. Anything based off a lie is always will be a lie. All right, thanks for your time. If you have any questions, let me know. I got a little subjective because I'm interacting with Gang Stalker, MK Ultra, and they're using electronic harassment, like all my voice is calling in the background. So that's just a TI life, but what's happened to me is I don't want it to happen to you. So I'm gonna keep bringing this information, and anything you have questions, do your due diligence. Don't just believe one website, don't believe a YouTube video. Don't believe you can go backward in time but not forward in time. That's dumb. Go study quantum gravity, you'll figure it out. Increase your consciousness, and your soul will become closer to God, because you'll consciously know how to become closer to God. If God is infinity, and they keep us in 3D, and they have disclosure, then they can use that information, that technology. Knowledge is power, ignorance is control. They can use that information to control your conscious, control your soul. And we're 3D, they have disclosure, a higher form of conscious awareness, and they can use it against you and you don't even know it. And that's the point. It's called anthropology. It's a psychological study of a theory of everything using advanced psychotronic warfare, where you can be brainwashed and indoctrinated with a program on the news. And that's why it's called programming, because they're programming your consciousness, your brain, to how to think, to make you think this is what is and what is not. And that's not always the case. All right, thanks for your time. Have a good day.